this piece and most of the pieces that I have in the show are part of a series I created on portable sanctuaries. So this idea of thinking about what sanctifies a thing or a place or space and how that can be brought with us. And this piece in particular is called A Metaphysical Handcart. So I started actually by researching and looking at images of different handcart options from catalogs that the Mormon pioneers would choose from, some of them would choose from or others could choose from, to create a handcart that would take you to a physical space. So this piece is loosely modeled after that, but it is a metaphysical handcart, so it's not intended to take anyone per se to a physical space. And it's just an altered found object that has an added olive wood handle and bronze part, there's a bronze part of the handle and some old steel wheels. And then within it there are 3 components. And the piece is really intended to be performed by me. So I'll actually be going out to the Salt Flats late spring, early summer to perform this piece and walk with it slowly in a desolate landscape. And when that happens, when the piece is moved, it animates what is in it. So it has this pretty wonderful sort of clanking sound from all the things and then a little bit of ringing from the bells. So the first section has bells. Some are made by me, some are from different holy places around the world, and some reference schoolhouses and other more mundane types of activities. So these bells are used to hearken, to announce something happening, to call people to prayer in many traditions. So we can think of churches ringing the bells in the steeples, but in the Buddhist tradition, bells are rung to start prayer and meditation. And in the Old Testament, the robes of the high priest were said to be lined with pomegranates and bells that would ring as he moved. And this is an interactive piece, so people can ring the bells. And then in the second piece, there is a bronze bowl that has a prayer in Hebrew that blesses children, and it's filled with olive leaves. So both the olive wood in the handle and the olive leaves are used somewhat metaphorically to reference this idea of the olive branch and peace, but also really thinking of the contested land in between Israel and Palestine, and what the olive trees have seen over hundreds of years they've been there, and what they represent in terms of on whose land. And then the final section has 4 bronze birds that appear to be dead. They're intended to be dead birds. And again, I'm using this both sort of on a more straightforward way of this idea of environmental devastation and what we're doing to the animals that inhabit this planet. Also this idea of the canary in the coal mine. But more metaphorically, this idea of birds perhaps as the axis mundi between heaven and earth, and that they can fly in that in-between space and perhaps connect those 2 spaces. I'm not sure. But so I want people to be thinking about that as well as their own interpretations of this metaphor of this idea of lost flight.